with this downtown overlay, who is it that wants all this added height and density in downtown? I mean, really, who is it that wants that? Is it the citizens? If the citizens really want that, you should put it to a vote. You should put it in an election and say, hey, citizens of Scottsdale, do you want this in the downtown? Or is this somebody else that's coming in and saying, well, we want it, but we don't want anybody else to know that we're going to be doing it? So in the previous character map, it had pink and blue and these other things. Well, all the heights were all hidden in the bottom in little tiny fine print, which attorneys like to do. They put things in fine print because they know nobody's going to read it. I don't think the city of Scottsdale needs 70, 90, 120, 150-foot buildings in the downtown. I see buildings all over the whole entire valley that are much lower than that. They're building them and people are living there. I don't think that the citizens of Scottsdale want that. The referendum this last fall indicated that they didn't want the South Bridge. That was a density, height question. I think this past election was the same thing, that they voted in people that were saying that they didn't want to see height and density in the downtown either. So the Southbridge people, the company, bless their hearts, they're developers, they want to build. I understand that. But back in the, 2 decades ago, there was another one, and it actually went to a public vote about that project. And the citizens said no. This last time there was a referendum. The developer decided to pull it before it went to a public vote. Wise move on their part. This character plan is going to be inside the general plan. It's being referenced in the general plan. I really would like to see the general plan passed. We need one in here in the city of Scottsdale. I'm very afraid, though, that when the citizens find out that those heights are still in that, it's going to have a negative impact on the people that are voting for the general plan. So I would really like to see the council take back the great downtown developer giveaway and take it back to the heights that are more reasonable for the area that is there. We don't need those building heights. We can still build quality development and apartments and businesses down there without it. So thank you.
Thank you. Next in person, Bob Pejman.
Thank you, Mayor Ortega, council members. My name is Bob Pejman, addresses on the record. So, with or without a downtown plan or an Old Town character plan, there is existing zoning right now for every piece of land, every parcel. And if a developer submits an aggressive plan that can get 4+ council votes, that land can be upzoned for taller buildings. That's how the waterfront got approved. Despite lower zoning, 4+ council members apparently agreed it was a good project and they approved it. But it wasn't approved because it was a character plan or anything like that that made it happen. My point is that 4+ votes can approve or upzone anything. Now, I read the 2018 downtown character plan, and when it was passed, the underlying zoning did not change. It remained as it was. But the character plan added 4 or designated 4 areas with specific heights, but all of that is aspirational or suggested. It's not zoning. And by the way, those, if you look on page 15, those heights are written in I don't think there's possible smaller font that they could have put in. Maybe there is, but I don't think it gets printed. And so it's almost like they were put in that small font so that nobody would read it or that it would not make it major. Also, the outreach that was performed back then, in my opinion, was very superficial. There was very little attention given to the height. And in the meeting where that plan was passed, and I was there, the question was asked, What's the difference here? And the answer was there's no difference. It'll just make it more, it will add more agility. I think that's what Randy Grant said, that it will just add more agility. And that's fine, but it still doesn't change the zoning. So the question is, what's all the fuss about this character plan? And my answer is this. I believe that, number one, it gives the impression that the taller heights are zoning when they're not. It also gives cover to council to approve the taller heights despite the lower underlying zoning, because they can claim later that to the voters that the character plan made them powerless to change the zoning, but it's not zoning. Also, in reference to the Prop 207, there is no devaluation of a property, since it can still be upzoned if there are 4 votes. So I go back to what Frank said. The general plan references the character plan. And as we know, height and density have not been popular items, evidenced by the referendum and also evidenced by the 3 people who are on the council right now that ran on that issue. So I hope that the general plan passes, but I hope that it doesn't reference the character plan with the higher heights, which in my opinion should be removed, since it will make no zoning difference. Thank you.
Thank you.